Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're out here. It's Mr. Yams and Bruce the Cool.
Yeah.
We're out here at Livy's Social Club. Beautiful scenery. How you feel about it?
I walked into this place and I thought, wow, I will be a regular.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's the energy.
Yeah.
And then paddle, maybe I'll come for lessons.
Yeah. we thought this was your vibe. That's why we picked it.
See, I love it when people are considerate.
Lynn Forbes, ladies and gentlemen. It's the end of 2023. How are you feeling?
Yeah.
Well, I'm ready for 2024. To be honest with you, this has been a tough year.
Yeah.
But I'm ready. Well, are you ready for a new start?
I'm excited. I just, it's obviously it's the weight gain that comes in this month, but you're already on a health journey already. So,
She started in December.
Started in December.
No, I actually started in November.
Okay.
So this thing of New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
It's not for me. So, but I also had a bit of a, I've seen every single specialist looking at my health. There's a few areas for concern.
Of course, everyone has.
So I decided, Glammy, start now. Now is the best time.
100%.
There's no better time than the now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm on a mission.
Yeah, Glammy, I can imagine that like your appreciation for life in general is at a whole different level right now. I mean, going through such a really tough year, where are you at mentally?
Mentally?
Yeah.
Honestly, struggling.
Yeah.
Struggling. I mean, how can I not be struggling?
Yeah.
But I think every day I get up and I have to make some choices,
Yeah.
How's this day gonna go? How's this week gonna go? I have to be almost mindful in the moment, and so I get up and instead of actually going and lying on the couch and covering my head and turning on Netflix and just lying there for 3 days, I plan my day and I keep active and I keep busy, because I think that's the only way I can get through things.
Yeah.
And also not that it's only that. There's a lot. There's my stuff. There's Get Real with Lynn and Kay, the wellness stuff. Then there's the podcast with Katie, Outspoken Owls. Then there's Caro. Then there's the family. Then there's all my other things. Then I'm inspirational speaker. And then all of a sudden this year I've got all Kenan stuff on top of it.
Then that's you.
So now I joke and I say, if I could rap.
You might
Pick
as
up the mic.
If I could rap right now,
You'll be AKA.
Yeah.
How's that felt like having to take, because you guys have really been on TV a lot now, all the awards.
Yeah.
What a big year, right?
A massive year. And look, let me start off by saying grateful.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really grateful. I think when I don't know if you remember the memorial service, when I did that speech, because I chose to address the nation, really, and I said that all I want was just celebrating.
Yeah.
I don't put my energies into trying to figure out what happened and trying to spend my whole day being consumed by all of that.
Yeah.
I obviously we all want justice, and the law should take its course, but for me it was about celebrating. So this year has been a celebration of Kenan.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, tough though also to arrive at all these awards. I mean, I went to Atlanta this year for awards, for the BET, for the honorary, remember?
Yeah.
And it's all great and awesome, and it's nice to take Caro and she learns about what her dad was about.
Yeah.
All that. But it's bittersweet.
It's bittersweet. Talking Cairo, I was shocked to note that she knows all the songs on Mass Country. How's that a thing?
Let's start. Now remember, Caro and I used to stay with Kenan every second week.
Okay.
So she would stay with me, and we would stay with her dad for a week, and then she would go to her mom. So Kenan, as much as he had a studio upstairs there, he would literally work in his lounge, and he would wake us up, and he would play the songs for us all the time. So by the time Mass Country got released, we kind of knew the content, but also Caro was sharp, like a dad, and a mom,
100%,
and me, and everybody.
It rubs off. Listen, definitely, definitely.
So she picks it up quicker. I think kids are just like that. I mean, these days children, they pick up anything.
They pick up anything.
But she knows every lyric, every word on every record.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Outside this album being his last album, what's special for you on this album? Because I would say personally, having been like a huge AKA fan. I mean, we actually had a sit down with AKA in October
Yeah.
to talk about Lemon's Lemonade and you know, the vulnerability on that album is unmatched. You know, I just feel like to have an artist really bring you into his world, the way he brought people into his world on Mass Country, I've never experienced it locally anywhere, you know. So I'm just quite curious to you to know what's special about that album to you when you listen to that album.
A couple of things actually. So firstly, look, I mean, in his own words, he said it was a love story to the country and it was his gift, you know.
Yeah.
So again, and it was that play on Miss Candy and Mass Country. It's a album for the masses.
Yeah.
And we want to kind of position it like that all the time. So that's special because he did that. But secondly, and I'll come now to my personal reason why, but also because in Mass Country, remember now. It's been a while since he dropped. What was the last one? Bobomania. Bobomania. Yeah. It's been a while. Yeah. So Bobomania, and then so in this one, I feel it's very different from any other
project that he's done.
Because I believe this one is very much. It speaks to his childhood, and I'll tell you now why. And then also, it really tells the story of the last couple of years. I mean, if you start, in fact, if you listen to Mass Country, it's almost in reverse. So if you look at the last songs, I mean, the last track songs,
those are very personal.
Call them tracks, Glammy, not songs. So the last couple is literally really starting 2021. Going into, and then it ends off the first ones is like now. So it ends quite heavy because that was that time for him. And then it comes lighter and it's more like now, you know, because he was in a very different space at the end. He was so happy, so content, so spiritual. So that. But then the personal thing for me, it's the actual sampling. Because the samples are actually from childhood music, that his dad played for him. I mean, last time, there's an actual last time Bread. I mean, it's these people, I don't know if you guys ever know these artists, Bread and Cat Stevens.
I've never heard of them.
Sample Cat Stevens for Bread. So, you know, and there's a few others on there. So his father's influence in the music is very evident.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's why I even know.
You really,
Okay, so that's how you relate to it.
It's the songs that we played in the car when we were traveling and the weekend trips, and the songs his dad played in the house. I mean, at home. So Kenan was exposed to a huge variety of genres of music throughout his life.
Could we just go back to the beginning? Like, what was this like? What was it like raising, AKA?
Raising the Beast.
Yeah.
A superstar.
A superstar.
You know, it's always so. I love talking about this actually because Kenan was actually always a performer. Firstly, you must remember Kenan was the firstborn grandchild on both sides of the family. And he was a boy. So he was doted on like crazy. I mean, everybody loved him. He was everything. And then, but he was always a performer. So Kenan actually was that. He loved Michael Jackson. He, you know, he would literally in his grandmother's house. In Mitchell's Plain, because we started off living with his grandmother before Tony and I kind of took the family with Kenan somewhere else. But they had the staircase coming down, and then he would get himself all dressed up. He had these little sneakers with orange laces and these little, what they call lace biters. It's like a little animal head, and because the kids can't tie their laces, you put it in there.
It does it for you.
And he had like these kind of weirdest clothes. And he would come running down, and then he would, you know, when he gets to the end, he would jump into the lounge, and then he would do his little moonwalk. So he loved entertaining, and once he got your attention, you can't, you know, you trapped there.
You better focus.
He's always been a performer. He's always been a performer, and also very. I mean, Kenan has always been incredibly intelligent. I mean, that just when you listen to him, the humor that he had was very intelligent, and he was a real reader, encyclopedia. I mean, I'm a teacher by profession, so same thing I'm doing with Caro now. Caro could read before she goes to school. All my kids could read before they go to school.
Please come do that with my kids, Glammy. I need that.
So Kenan loved his books, and Kenan loved information. even now, I mean, his general knowledge was on another
Another
But he
level.
was also very, on another level. But he was also funny because he would deliberately, because as parents we wanted to show him off.
Yeah.
Because he knows all this, the capitals of all the countries.
Yeah.
Who's the presidents of this, and then.
Yeah.
So when you wanted to do that, so if I brought him in here and I say, okay, will you tell them who's the president of maybe the US, and he would say Winnie Mandela, because he wanted to show you don't do this.
Yeah.
So he was also, he could tease a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, the same way he teased, even Caro had an amazing
Oh man, Glenn, you're talking about AKA's general knowledge. When you listen to the army,
Yes.
for me that's like a big song for me. It's a big song because it's really reflective of. I mean, he took everyone through the history of the country. Then he got us to a point where there's a verse that says ANC in the pot, democracy flopped. Then there's a part where he said, he speaks about load shedding, and it's just everything that's going on right now. And for me, it's just like,
It's very current.
ooh.
Yeah.
And that's the last song on the album. He literally just like wrapped up, gave you the whole history of the country and where we are, and that's his ending. It's just like, it's mind blowing.
Interesting, just to connect to that point actually. So
Yeah.
the night before Kenan died, so he died on February the 10th, remember?
Yeah.
It was a Friday. Thursday night, the 9th of February, was Sona. It was the State of the Nation address.
Yeah.
And we were all watching State of the Nation. Now, remember, Kenan was very well self-professed. I mean, he wasn't shy about the fact that he was ANC.
Yeah.
He made no
He made it
secret
clear.
of
Yeah.
He made it clear.
But that night when the drama was playing out on Sona, he came back because him and Caro had just started jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were doing their little thing there, but he was saying, we were watching this, and he stood up and he said the strangest thing. He said, this is what you guys are going to be dealing with.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about it now and I think, it's just surreal. He said, this is what you guys are going to be dealing with.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And I mean, we didn't make anything out of it, but afterwards I thought, that's the craziest thing. But no, you're right about it. I mean,
Yeah.
the songs, Kenan was, even on, if you listen to any album or
Yeah,
any
yeah.
lyrics, Kenan's general knowledge and
It was unmatched.
his awareness of current affairs and
Yeah,
politics and
yeah.
what goes on in the world is all captured in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's
was a
fun.
smart boy.
He was very smart. And just speaking to his awareness, I had a conversation with DJ Ready D because Ready D worked with AKA on Monuments. And
I saw him the other night.
yeah, so, and it's
Psalmist.
yeah, he's a legend, and he worked with AKA on Monuments. And when you listen to Monuments, AKA touches on what we're going through with COVID. To say, you got all these nice clothes, but you can't go outside.
Yes, he does.
Who's you gonna show it to? You can't go to Taboo. You know what I mean? And I just really love, just like because
How we would weave
yeah,
these things
yeah, it's not just music for the sake of music. It's like, listen,
No,
this is
real
way,
messaging.
you know what I'm saying? There's a verse where he even
He told
says,
stories.
Yeah.
you can't tell people to stay home when they're dealing with domestic abuse at home, and it's just like, and this is real things that people were going through during COVID, where it's like, people were comfortable. It's like, listen, where you guys going? Stay home, but you don't know the dynamics
You don't
of
know what's
people
going on at
home, and I think that level of awareness is mind blowing because I think we can all agree, AKA came from privilege, and maybe it's not the kind of privilege that.
Yeah, it's not that kind of
Yeah.
privilege, but it's not there.
It's not, and
No, when you talk privilege, he has told you the story that when he was in matric, he had to stay out of school for 3 months because we couldn't pay the school
No,
fees.
please share that story.
So that is the kind of privilege
Yeah.
we're talking here. There's privilege, but there's also...
Yeah.
You want that story?
Yeah, please,
You
please.
told the story before. Oh.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Kenan's dad, also a great human being.
Yeah.
Hardworking. I mean, we did get divorced. Now, when was it? 2007. Kenan was actually in matric that
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
No, just the year after he finished matric.
Yeah.
But we're in good, we're all in good space. But the thing is, and this is about being real, and these are the stories that Kenan would tell.
Yeah.
So I don't think we come from privilege in terms of wealth.
Yeah.
but he had to work. We were hardworking, you know. And so our families, I think, generationally, we have kind of become better. But the generations before us and the generations before that were not wealthy, so we don't come from old money. If we're gonna say
Put it that way,
way.
yeah.
And I think somebody like Kenan has really broken the mold and taken it to a different
the next level,
and therefore, so Kenan and Zinhle, maybe that generation, and therefore generations like Cairo would be in a different position.
Sure.
But so Tony was just a really hardworking dad. He worked for a big IT company. When he finished, he was incredibly intelligent, got really good marks at school, and landed himself a really good job. But then the build-up started coming, and then but that comes. So at some point he left and he started his own businesses, entered the entrepreneurial world and all of that. So when Kenan was in matric and Stephen was probably in grade 7, I think at that point. Sorry, grade 9.
Yeah.
They're 5 years apart. He went through difficulties in his business, and that comes with having to pay staff. It's the normal entrepreneurial issues.
It's tough.
And at some point, like, we were struggling. Like, the school sent us a letter, the kids can't come back to school for 3 months.
That's horrible.
Okay.
No, but you know what? You work through this. These are the challenges of life that you need to grow through. And I mean, we talk about this, and I think it's good to be real about life.
Yeah.
That's life. That's life.
Yeah.
Sorry. You said something about him. What he said that night before he passed. It's crazy because when AKA passed, I was overseas, right? So it didn't hit me. It just didn't seem real.
Yeah.
When I got back and I was on my way to the airport when the album dropped, and the first song was Last Time. The Uber driver looked at me like, do you know him? I broke down because it was like, the messaging was like very spiritual. Like
the song, I mean that, and also have you seen the visuals for? I mean, there's no, but that visuals where he's standing.
The photos that were the last photos on his Instagram.
No, that last photo on the Instagram. Now all of these things, for me, I don't know, but I sometimes do wonder if he knew.
That
almost maybe his spirit knew.
Or maybe so this is what people tell me is like maybe his spirit knew and he didn't know, but I don't know. I feel like I wonder if he knew. I often wonder, did he know? Because those visuals are just, I mean, that light shining, you reaching out to the heavens, that whole thing, and then that song.
Last time. This is the last
Let
time.
me please just, I mean, like, do you know how that concept of that shoot came about,
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it would be very interesting to really know, was it something that he commissioned in that way?
Zadok
will
we had a
know.
conversation with Zadok.
Okay.
He said that he had planned out all the visuals.
Okay.
He said,
I know that part, but I don't know the concept.
Oh, the concept, because he says that this is the first time that he handed in the album super early. He said the very first time.
So all I know is that, and I know this for a fact because we went. Remember, we had Christmas together with Nadia and her family, and then we went to Sun City. And it was really great time together. And when we came back, he was adamant, I need to get this album done. Now Kenan has never been like that. Kenan would like at the last minute put some things together. But this album, I might speak under correction, but I think it was done 3 weeks before he died. And it was done.
Done and
now,
dusted.
and the visuals, I think, again, I might be days out, but I think it was the week before he actually died. That photo shoot and the video shoot, those visuals happened a couple of days before he actually died. So it just feels like he knew some spiritually.
Glemmy, I mean, you touched a bit on the justice for AKA. I just wonder, do you wake up feeling a lot more optimistic for his justice now than you were before, or it's actually the other way around?
I'm going to answer this as honestly as I can. Right from the beginning, you know what, for me, I don't want to, I think it's a way of self-preservation and self-protection maybe, because I don't want to, so I don't put a lot of energy into thinking, when will this be solved? How is it going to be solved? So what I did early on is I accepted that he was gone. and I acknowledge that that was the situation and that we have to deal with it. So I think sometimes it changes, and sometimes when we get an update from the cops and from the police, I think, okay, well, it sounds like maybe we will see the end of this. But let me tell you, and I've said this over and over again, for me, justice in the face of the law, for me, because justice for me right now is the only justice that makes sense for me is to know that my son will not be forgotten and celebrated and all that. Because I think that is the biggest justice for me. But when it comes to actual law, I don't know if it will ever be done, because for me the only way it can ever be done is if they bring the person to task that paid for the bullet. If we're gonna arrest somebody and put somebody in jail who pulled the trigger, for me that's not justice. Justice is who paid for the bullet, and that part. So maybe we will arrest somebody, but do I believe we'll ever find the person who paid for the bullet? I actually don't believe that. To be honest with you, and if it does happen, I will be
pleasantly surprised.
I just want to tip my hat off to you, because this situation reminded me of the Pop Smoke situation that happened in the US. When he passed, he was also working on his album, and when he was supposed to drop his album, his family was grieving and they couldn't do anything about the work. And 50 Cent had to go and shout at his brother like, this is his life's work, this is his legacy, and you have literally taken the bull by the horns. And we've seen you like do even the press runs, the last time some records had gone platinum and the event at Sony, Bruce asked the question, he asked what was going to happen with the company music video. I just saw that the remix is dropping. We still don't have the video,
brother,
but we pitched a music video concept.
I'm locking my lips.
Okay.
No, but you correct. No, look, again, it's that. I think in many ways, I mean, I've not been that mom that was never seen in the public or haven't operated in the public space. Even if I was working on my own things, but I was exposed to the industry. And I do believe now that in a way I was almost groomed for what I had to do now. So I do, for me, one of the first
Can I have another Red Bull?
I always say, I think I understand the assignment. I do understand the assignment.
You do.
I understand that Kenan has finished building his legacy. Kenan built a phenomenal
Can I have
legacy.
a Red Bull, ma'am?
Red Bull.
Yeah.
Can I just stick with this for now? Is it water? It's water, okay. Thank
I'll have
you.
the water as well.
Okay. So for me, how I look at it is Kenan, I don't have to build Kenan's legacy. He's done a damn good job about that.
100%.
But I have to preserve it. I have to preserve his legacy, and me together with his dad, we need to do that stuff, and the family, right? So I think it was just from the beginning understanding that Kenan dying doesn't mean everything has to stop. There's too much that is alive around him that has to go on, and this car, and we have to do this for her. So I think that is it for me, and I'm not the kind of person that can just, I think it will be an injustice to Kenan for me to sit back and just let things go to pieces. And also, I think he's probably sitting there thinking, I dreamt about him recently, and he told me, he said, Mom, you're doing a great job.
And you are doing a great job.
He said, just trust your gut and keep your head on your shoulders and don't get distracted, but you're doing a great job. I think he's happy.
No, he is happy, because Glemmy, I don't think that parent-wise anyone would have done a better job than you are doing, because I feel like it's one thing to be a family spokesperson and say one or two things here and there, but I think to actually do what you are doing and making sure his legacy, there's something that you said somewhere where you said if there is an opportunity to preserve his legacy, to push his legacy forward, you are going to grab that opportunity. And honestly, that's what you're doing.
So let me tell you, so I can give you a little bit. So look, it's been now on Sunday, it's going to be 10 months since we've lost Kenan.
100%.
It has been, and I think sometimes we also just have to give ourselves some grace and some time, because it's actually not that long. And we, I need some time out first before anything to just actually deal with. I don't think I've really had time to
Deal with it.
deal with the grief
Yeah.
because I've been so busy with other things. I need a little bit of time out. I'm taking my sister. We're going away for 2 weeks in the new
Beautiful.
year and just breathing. But outside of that, thank you.
Thank you.
I think outside of that, what I can tell you is that we
Can I
have
please
been
have more
working
ice,
behind
man?
the scenes. I mean, this year I think it was just about collecting awards.
Yeah.
A lot of awards.
A lot of
Left,
them.
right, and center.
Yeah.
I should say.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. But what we have done is we've established the foundation. It's going to be called the Lynn Forbes Foundation, which we want to officially kind of announce around his birthday in January.
Yeah.
There's some of the remixes that's happening. I mean, we're throwing some things out this week.
Nice.
obviously.
Nice.
I'm not going to be the person that's going to name things.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, man.
Fair enough.
Because I'm gonna get in trouble with other people.
Yeah.
But you know some of it.
Yeah.
What do you know? Okay, what do you know? So that's not me.
No, they're gonna hear from you. It's an exclusive, but we're not gonna release it before they say anything. So just say what you need to
Okay,
say.
fine. So we all know that. So we're doing the remix, not the remix, the remix of company.
Beautiful.
So the company remix is coming out, and on there is Cassper and Kiddo.
Oh man, beautiful.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Capture the small?
Yeah.
Cassper.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
Cassper the small, I just call him Cassper. And that's going this, and there's a visualizer coming with it, and there's some other things around that. But then outside of that, we're working on 3 more remixes from Mass Country for the new year. We are doing, and obviously there's going to be a video coming out in the new year.
Oh, beautiful.
But I can't tell you what that one is.
That concept.
Yeah.
But we could talk about the concept that we had.
Okay, which one? So we had a meeting the other day, and we even asked the Makers for their input.
Okay.
Because one thing about me, I'm continuing. Kenan wanted the Makers to be involved, so the Makers involved. So we had to sit down and go. Sony was there in the meeting, and it's the Makers input. The Makers ran there. Oh, you guys did the.
We did the poll, Glennie.
Did the poll and all of that. And I got your results.
Oh, thank you.
And I've got their results, but then it was also, sitting with Sony and looking at the numbers and going through everything and saying, and obviously everybody wants a company video.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's not the company video, I'm saying then we had to look at it and say, what was there? It was company, it was dangerous, it was
Crown. Those are the top 3.
Those were the top 3.
Yeah.
So all things taken into account, the video that we're going to do is going to be, I'll tell you next year.
Okay. I love it, Grammy. I love it.
But we have made a decision.
Yeah.
And the video will come out in the new year.
Yeah.
And then around his birthday, there's a lot of activity happening around his birthday. That will be obviously AK, because the birthday is on a Sunday. That will be AK weekend. Yeah. We will make sure you guys, because I see you guys are on board there with pushing the AK prize.
Yeah, I know we do.
So you'll get
We've been the Makers.
We've been.
From way back.
Yeah.
From way back.
So we'll make sure you get all the information, so that you can put it out there and all
100%.
of that. But there's a lot of, there's quite a bit. I don't want to talk about that right now because we are only having a meeting tomorrow to finalize. So I don't want to give you incorrect information.
I appreciate
No
that. But you just need to suggest one thing though.
Yeah.
Right? Every time AK would drop the music video for the hit record, he would have a street record with it, right? I can tell you that when he was planning to drop Company, AKA was going to drop the Mbuzi music video with it.
Okay.
I can tell you that.
Somebody else said the same thing the other day. So it did come up in the previous meeting.
Yeah.
So I'll go tomorrow. What is today? Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday.
Thursday we're having the meeting. So I'll say, listen, I sat with the boys.
Yeah.
And this is what they say.
Yeah.
Video with a street.
It was a street record. So the Mbuzi visualizer, we need it with the hit record.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So there's going to be the hit record and then the
street
Mbuzi
record.
or whatever
Yeah.
else. Okay, street record and hit record.
Yeah.
100%. Glemmy, the other question that I want to ask you, still on the music, is to say, how much AKA music is out there that hasn't been released? Are we looking at a couple more albums? What does that look like?
What it looks like is that there's a lot.
Yeah. 3-4 albums, you never know.
What it looks like is there's a lot of unreleased music.
Yeah.
No, to be honest with you, we haven't sat down and really looked at because also remember, a lot of it is music that is done, a lot of it is maybe is progress quite far, a lot of it might be stuff that he might not have wanted.
To release.
So we need to sift through all of that stuff and say, would he actually wanted to release this? Because also, I mean, another thing
He was a
that we don't want to do-
perfectionist.
Kenan was a perfectionist, and he was a real, like, his art was everything to me.
Yeah.
So the last thing I want to do is come in here, or we want to come in here and say, okay, well, you know what, just for the sake of releasing music,
Yeah.
Put it out.
this is all the stuff he has, and now we just release it.
Yeah, you don't want
We
that.
need to kind of take what's there and say, what would he have used?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God we have Zaz Boy, the guys he was making the music
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's that
So
boy,
they could guide
there's
us.
Zadok, there's
Zadok, yeah.
Fifth Season, there's, you know, there's all the people that were around him that can direct and
Yeah,
help
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we're doing now, is we're asking the input from, you know, the different
Yeah.
people.
He said, AKA said, all the ladies in my house, all the ladies in the house sleeping on my
That's not
mama
mine.
couch.
Sorry, what am I drinking? Nothing.
Oh, that's it.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me crack open.
fine.
So he said, okay, you're still okay. He said, all the ladies in the house sleeping on my mama couch. I'll take the whole amount, throw it in my mama account. He was talking about when he was coming up,
I
and
don't know that. Where's that
yeah,
from?
that's DreamWorks.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah. So
There's
so this is
much.
back in the
realize
day. This
too
is
much
back in the day.
music.
Okay.
So he was talking about when he was on the come up, and
Yeah.
he would sometimes have to bring the people that he was with out to your house.
To my house. But he did that while I was sleeping, you see.
So he never got to sleep.
Somebody told me about
Oh,
this.
yeah.
He said to me there were times when I was in bed sleeping, and then he, you know,
You
I
bring the
wouldn't
people.
I wouldn't even know.
And they'll leave before you wake up. Okay. And then he also speaks about when a moment when he was having his beef with Altito.
Yeah. Oh,
and they
that's what I
smash your
must tell
car?
you. No,
Yeah.
no, because me and Altida, we have beef.
Oh.
But we're squashing it on his podcast in February.
Oh,
Okay.
He
beautiful.
told me, so I want him to listen to this. You must also tell him, listen, Glenn
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
So, no, that's an interesting story because I always now tease Altito about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because remember now they had their beef and it was a long time ago. Now the Bucky, remember what is the song where he's talking about the Bucky? Where he says
Ranjos.
Ranjos.
Yeah. So that is my white
That's your car, yeah.
Toyota Raider 4-wheel drive.
Wow.
Mine.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
But Kenan, because he didn't have a car at that time, that was probably about 2008, 2007. No.
8, 9.
No. 2009, 2010, just before he kind of broke
He
through.
became AKK.
Before he broke out.
Yeah.
You know? And he would take me, so he was driving my car and he would take me to work. I was still working in a job that time. I was working for Kumon Education.
Yeah.
And he would drop me at work and he would fetch me from work as if it's his car.
Yeah.
And then he would go to gigs with my car.
You're the chauffeur.
And this one, I mean, I wasn't even the chauffeur. He was my chauffeur in my car.
Yeah.
And then he would use my car to go to gigs at that time.
Yeah.
So Tito them at that point, I don't know what happened at the club, but the next day Kenan was at home sleeping on the couch and I woke up and he was looking at me and I saw there was something wrong and he said to me, Mom, the car got smashed last night.
Sheesh.
They literally smashed the car. And so now, later on in life, how life works out, him and Tito became like,
Tight
Close,
clothes.
yeah.
and Tito's now like my son.
Yeah.
But now every time I see him, I say, like, you owe me money, hey? You need to sort out, I sorted out that car, but you owe me money.
100%.
So he says to me, Mom, when are we going to squash this beef? I said, when you invite me to
On your podcast.
Oh
Wow.
wow, that's beautiful.
So,
Glenn, talking beef.
yeah.
How real was the AKA and Cassper beef? Because, sometimes I just felt like it wasn't that deep, but you, the mom, how deep was that beef?
I think it was real.
Okay.
Look, I'll tell you why. Because Kenan would talk to me, and if it wasn't real, I would have picked it up.
Yeah.
I don't know the ins and outs of it. I don't even know. Somebody asked me a couple of days ago, how did it start? But I don't know. You must remember I'm the mom.
Yeah.
Boys, you guys are boys. You're not
100%.
telling your moms things.
Yeah.
You're not everything.
Yeah.
So people always ask me things about that, and I say no. Boys specifically will only tell their moms the things that they think their moms need to know
100%.
because they're protective and all of that. So, but I do think. I believe it was real because if it wasn't real, I think in the conversations I would have picked up that it wasn't real.
Yeah.
So now
It was real.
AK was a mastermind.
It was.
It
Cassper,
was good for the.
It was incredible.
It was good.
It
for
did a
the-
lot for the culture. It did a lot for hip hop.
Isn't that the culture?
That
It is the culture.
That is hip hop.
It is
That
part of the
hip-hop.
culture.
Cassper was talking about how, at the height of the beef, Cassper, when he sold out F&B, so he's at the after party, and then AKA pops up. He's like, I see him, I knew this guy wants to take my attention, and AKA comes and hugs him. He says, and the picture
There was
goes
a
off,
photo.
and the picture goes off. We were all thinking that AKA was saying congratulations. He says AKA was like, you know, I'm gonna get you next week, right?
That sounds like a good.
He's like, you know, I'm gonna get you, right?
And that photo was a big moment.
Yeah, it's like the soccer, you know, the soccer.
Yeah.
I mean, I listened to Kenan, was it on Srika's show, podcast,
Yeah.
or somebody else, or Tito.
Yeah.
And he was saying, because they asked him, you know, he
About the
"No,
high
man,
five."
It was just the high five. It's in the moment. We were playing two guys in the same team.
Yeah.
We scored. And I was high fiving him. It's got nothing to do with what happens
Yeah,
outside.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think it was.
Crazy. Glemmy, you're doing a big job preserving his legacy, but also with preserving his legacy, you also need to protect his brand.
Yeah.
And there's a specific incident that I would like for you to shed light, which was the AmaKipKip incident. Please share with us what was wrong with that situation, and how should brands approach anything of that kind in a way that's palatable with the AKA brand and the AKA family.
I would like to address that. I think it's a good. We're good now with AmaKipKip. I think we've had our moments with them, and you know, they've kind of actually donated all the merchandise to us that they have, you know, done at the time, and you know,
wow.
and we're going to use it. The issue for us around that was really, and I know, you know, people do tribute stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't have an issue with tribute stuff, but for me, for us as a family, let me say specifically for me and Tony, in that situation, it was AmaKipKip making t-shirts and selling them without any kind of you know, checking with the family if that was
If it's
okay,
okay.
or saying, you know, we're selling this, but you know, we would like to. We're doing this as a tribute. We would like to sell them, and therefore, because for us, at the end of the day, let me tell you, there's only one reason why we're doing what we're doing. Two reasons: to preserve Ken's legacy and to make sure that Cairo
That's it.
benefits from anything that has to happen here.
Yeah.
So if AmaKipKip is doing t-shirts and they are selling those t-shirts for their gain, I don't care whether it was, you know, 10 rand. The point is, you should, I think it was also just respectful to come, because what you're putting now, if you take somebody like Kaltish, for instance, they did the same thing. They came to the family, they did, and what they did is they sold it at zero profit to themselves. Now for me, that's a tribute.
That's the truth.
And I'm not saying therefore that we're not open. I mean, right now we are open, because also we're doing merchandise in the new year. We're doing, you know, all that kind of stuff. But there's a process of doing these things, and I think I feel that we are a little bit, you know, we're probably feeling a little bit disrespected maybe in a way if people just take his legacy and use it for their own gain. Now, I'm not saying that was the intention of AmaKipKip. I'm not saying that they're bad people. I'm saying I would like to ask people to at least acknowledge us in what they're doing and say, you know, this is what we're doing. Are you open? Are you keen? And then also, so it had nothing to do with the AmaKipKip brand either. It had to do with, we need to be selective about what it is. So even if they come now, I don't know if we're going to say, yes, we're doing something with you. Again, like you said, we need to speak then too. What was Ken's brand about? What is it that we want to? Because he was very particular about a lot of things.
Very, very particular.
So this, so just for the record, I've got no issues with AmaKipKip. I've got no. It's just that I feel like if we don't set the standards and set down the rules from the beginning, it will just go haywire.
100%. 100%. Yeah. So Glemmy, you know, I like the Cultish collaboration. I think they look like highly premium teas. I love them. But my biggest concern with that specific collaboration was the price point. I feel like it was very elitist. It was very, you know, it was very. So I would love to see more
Okay, but
done.
I can answer you.
Please, yes,
So cultish was, okay, and in Kennan's words again, cultish, he said, is not merch.
Okay.
Cultish is premium.
Okay.
That was Kenan from the horse's mouth. Now the cultish was not presented as merch. So for me, and I know for me, I look at merch, something that is accessible to everybody. That is cultish was a small. They really what's his name now? Why do I forget his name now?
Him. Yeah.
Oh no, that is so terrible.
Oh, yeah. No, you get it. You get it.
Okay, it's just my age. I'm 55 years old.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, he was really close with Kenan.
Yeah.
And Kenan was wearing cultish at the end all the time. There was cultish and there was what is culture?
Galaxy Boy.
Okay.
Boy, yeah.
So those
What
were
is
the-
culture? Galaxy Boy.
So there might be. I mean, I'm not going to say because it's not been finalized, but there's probably merchandise with Galaxy Boy
Yeah.
coming in the future.
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing with Cultish was that he really wanted Ryan. He really wanted to do something to just pay tribute to him. In a small caption, it wasn't many. And we can't now ask Ryan to make stuff because that is his standard.
Yeah.
Okay? And we gave him that because it was a personal thing, and he donated all of that money to Cairo.
Wow.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that I don't see that as merch. I see that as that is fashion. That is so style. That is-
Yeah.
I'm not saying that merch can't be like that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying we need to have different partnerships. So I must tell you that we are working on it. We have secured the partners and all of that for the
Yeah.
new year.
Awesome.
And the outlet for the merch is going to be quite. It's good. I can't say it now, but it's going to be quite dope, like you guys say, because it's going to be available nationwide.
Wow.
And very accessible to the masses because we're speaking to mass country and masses and
sure.
everybody, and it's going to be at a price tag that's accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
How closely are you working with AKA's the team that he was working with before?
Yeah. So you're talking about now. Okay. So when it comes to music, at the moment,
Brand.
brand.
Yeah.
We're talking branding and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Okay. So Zaz. We were still working with Zaz then because there was a lot of projects that were still in the running. But at some point we decided to just halt it and stop it because, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because, and all of the things that were happening, because there's a will, there's an executor, there's all of that stuff that had to be sorted out first. And what we're actually doing now is that the executorship is now actually within the family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it gives us more control over the things we want to do. So yes, we're working with all of those people, but at the moment where we are now, we have to restart conversations with Zaz. In fact, I just spoke to Zaz this week. Zaz, maybe you had another conversation with. I'm just throwing this. It's not happening. Maybe we should reignite cruise. Maybe we should.
Yeah.
I want to kind of go. Maybe we should do. Maybe there would be a new something happening with Reebok.
That'll be nice.
I'm just putting these.
Yeah.
So what we're doing as a family is we're trying to reignite some of the
Partnerships that worked.
relationships that worked in the past and that Kenan was passionate about.
So
So Zaz, them and all those people, we will, we talking to them still and re-engage, but we just had to stop things because outside of just the executive, as a family, it was difficult because we're dealing with so many things.
At the same
there's a lot.
dynamics,
There's a lot. So that's where we are.
Okay, great.
2024 will be the restart of
Yeah.
a lot of things.
yeah, we'd love to see that. Glennie, so the cruise, whatever brand you're going to work with, what we would love to see, because we want to tell you what we'd love to see while she's here. Me and Daryl, we struggled to get the banana aka cruise flavor. He got the two bottles that were in Gauteng. I don't know where you drove to. Glennie had a whole bride, brother, and we're not invited. Whole bride.
Oh my word, guys! I wrote there. You know what? The bride, the
Yeah.
mega bride.
Yeah.
Something that I want to do on an annual basis.
No, that's
I don't know when
beautiful.
Next time you'll be there. This one was very quick. It was, how it started off,
Yeah.
and it's anything like it. It's literally started off with me wanting to get the mega band.
Yeah.
And the production team for Mass Country because I've never had the time to actually thank them.
Yeah.
and with all the stuff that's been happening with the executives, I finally actually paid them
Yeah.
for the work on
Oh,
that
man. Yeah.
did?
Because there's so much going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
incredible.
I took a bit of, no, because I mean, otherwise, if I had to wait for all these
Royalties.
things
For the will to be.
then they might wait for a long time.
And
The
bills
estate
needs to be
wrapped up,
paid. And,
you know,
yeah.
and the estate has to be wrapped up. So once I've done that, I thought, okay, now I can invite them to a braai and thank them properly. Because now my conscience is clean.
Yeah, because now it's, you don't want them eating and feeling like, it's
Yeah.
nice, but if you could have given me the
it's
money.
And it's not that we didn't want to pay
Yeah.
them, obviously, it's just that there are so many things that you have to see through. So I'm hoping to
Yeah.
make this an annual, because Kenan, if there's one thing that Kenan was about,
Yeah.
it was about braaiing. So I thought we could maybe do an annual braai and have people come around. And
It was beautiful. We saw the photos, it was really beautiful. Let me
And no, but you were talking about the Megacy.
Yeah.
So the board. So I am in contact with the Megacy, and I mean, I must just tell the Megacy one thing. You guys know this. Those people are organized, eh?
Yeah, very organized.
Listen, there is. I call them the exco. Like there's this group that's like the head of the Megacy,
Oh, the Megacy, yeah.
and they run things like by clockwork. And even when we actually had a conversation with them yesterday, because my plan from the start was to continue what Kenan used to do. Kenan involved the Megacy in so many. I mean, design my album cover, do this, do that, and I want to continue that tradition. So, but I do feel like so again, it's again a process of, the last couple of months was just crazy.
Yeah.
But now we're at a point where we wrote them in. I mean, I will say to them, we're releasing and trying to get them things before the time so that they feel they need to be part and parcel of everything. So, but I like the idea. So yesterday we spoke to them, and I think we could literally. But you see, also I don't want to interfere too much in what they do.
Yeah.
Because they are the Megacy. They are the fan. It's like Kenan, like let's say Manchester United fan club.
Yeah.
You don't want to tell them what they must be doing because they understand the brand. I think sometimes they understand it better than I do.
Yeah, for sure.
They are amazing.
100%.
So the Megacy will be seen around. They want to be involved, and we will be involved.
Yeah.
But you guys are also the Megacy.
No, we are. And I mean, to be honest with you, I think that AKA really built his brand to a point where, it's been able to live past him. And I think that's like a beautiful thing. The way people get so aggressive about AKA, anything AKA, is just like, you don't see that often, and I think it's really beautiful to see his legacy being carried past that. But to close this off, Glemmy, I want to ask you to give us your top 5 favorite AKA songs of all time. Like
It's always the hardest thing.
top 5 favorite AKA songs.
Top 5 of all time.
Yeah.
Oh,
And why?
No, can we not do that?
No. Okay, great. I just want to ask you something before she answers that.
Okay.
I just want to ask one question.
Yeah.
At which point did you become an AKA fan? Because Kenan is your son.
Yeah.
Be honest. At which point did you become an AKA
AK fan. To be honest with you, I became an AK fan after he died. But I've listened to his music because
that makes sense because it's your son. Yeah.
So because in fact also, and I mean I know we finishing.
Yeah.
I've also only really realized what a superstar my son is
Super mega.
when he died.
Yeah.
We consider him the greatest African rapper of all time.
Yeah.
So I was always aware, but I'm his mom. It's a very different kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he walks in, I don't look at him, I'm like,
Oh, super mega.
why did you throw your socks there?
Yeah.
Or that kind of thing. So really for me, a lot of it sunk in. How huge it is, and I listen now to Mass Country and every other song and album. That's why it was like, what was that song? Because I now listen to the music like that.
Yeah.
So top 5.
Yeah.
Congratulate is no. This is not in no particular.
Yeah.
Also remember, I'm not a rap person.
No,
So I'm gonna
okay.
go for those.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
So Congratulate is one of my favorite songs because Kenan he directed that himself.
Yeah.
He was the director of
For the music video.
himself. So
Yeah.
I love that song because of that. I don't know, I like Jika. Jika is like a very colored.
It's also a wedding song.
Timeless.
You know that kind of that thing.
Yeah. Yes, that's wedding dance.
That wedding dance.
Yeah.
I like that song. And then obviously Victory Lap is always going to be a favorite because it was kind of, I mean, there was Touch and Go right in the beginning with Intensity and Victory Lap, but Victory Lap for me was really Kennan's breakthrough song. So Victory Lap, oh my word, guys.
Victory Lap, Congratulates.
Jika.
At the moment on Mass Country, so Mass Country we're going to say Mass Country counts as one.
Yeah.
Mass Country, okay. But I love Crown.
Yeah, it's
I
a
love
beautiful
Crown.
song.
I love Army. And I love Everest because Everest for me is a very Everest is a song that is very inspirational if you listen to it, and also because I'm going to base camp Everest next year.
Wow.
Everest. So now that's my song to get me exercise
prepared and ready.
Everest
What
is
else?
too much.
Where we now? Guys, I'm gonna drive.
No, you made it. You made it. That's fine.
Is it
That's
on
fine.
fire? So
That's Congratulates,
Jika,
Victory Lap,
congratulations.
Army, and Everest.
Oh yeah,
There we go.
It's probably, I mean, there's probably others that I enjoy.
No,
Guys,
100%.
it's difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, which song do you not like?
So let me also give my top 5.
No, tell me first, which one do you really not
No,
like?
I like all the songs. You know, I like all the songs. But I want to give my top 5, and I want you to give your top 5.
Okay, let's go.
So I think that it's a tough one. But I love Dreamwork.
Yeah.
I really love Dreamwork. I would say Amen with El Tido. I love that song. Star Signs with Stogie T. Beautiful song. Ooh-wee.
It's difficult.
It's difficult. But Diary, I like Diary. I think it's like
It's
very introspective. It's a very vulnerable song. And I like the vulnerable, aka.
It's very vulnerable.
Yeah.
That song.
But it's a tough one. But I'll throw Crown in there. Actually, I probably need a top 10, but it's fine. What's the top 5?
We need to do the top 100.
You need to do a top 100.
I really have to go because there's no way I'm going to, because I feel like I understand music on a high level as far as he was a mass musician, he was for the masses, you know, so a very mainstream artist. He said, stop calling me a rapper, I am a pop artist, right? That's what he said. So there's no way I'm leaving out Fairline Versace.
100%.
There is no way I'm leaving out The World Is Yours because of what it did. There's no way I'm leaving out.
But you see now, his list is looking more superior now. We're just looking like, you know, okay.
That's actually part of my top 5.
Yeah. So that's The World Is Yours. For me, I really love Sweet Fire.
Yes, Sweet Fire is also good.
It's like he showcased that he's really Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You know, because the guy really sang.
See, I was talking from a mom's perspective. No, but guys, this is my top 5.
Then we have on Mass Country. I love Mbuzi so much, guys.
Again.
Because he really took the shit. He said, "Yo, let me tell y'all what time it is." You know. I really love Mbuzi, and I have to put Ranjozi.
Ranjozi was the other one. If you asked me for it, I was gonna say Ranjozi.
Listen, it's just too much music.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
We probably need a top 20 for it to really make sense.
It's a lot of great.
You know,
music.
top 100. I just. You know, he has, you know, and he speaks about on energy. He says, what does he say about his catalog? What does he say about his catalog?
Yeah, it's too much.
What does he say about his catalog? He says my catalog as well?
What does he says, I know the strength of my catalog.
Yeah.
Yes,
What is it?
Yeah.
He says he's gonna live forever because he knows
only on the strength of his catalog. And I think
I could retire today.
that's what it is,
But
bro.
it's true.
When you,
Absolutely. And that's why, you know, for me, one of the biggest moments this year was actually the BET, the honorary award.
How was that?
Spectacular.
Yeah,
spectacular. I mean, the way they just really, I mean, they just celebrated him so much, and I mean, the effort they put into Cairo for her to understand, because she couldn't go to the actual awards round because people were naked around her. But I mean, they literally took her in the morning. We drove to the venue. She was getting dressed because they were opening all the red carpet sessions for her. Just her and a photographer with the award, and also in the car talking to her about Daddy, what he was about, what his music means to the world. She was blown away. But it was such a moment of celebration for him, and I think it was the biggest honor this year.
That BET one.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Glammy, I want to ask you. I think this is the summers that happened now. I'm sure in your head, you expected AKA to win Best Hip Hop Album. Were you sitting there not expecting it?
This is wrong, all wrong. I'm telling you what so fifth season, so Benzo was sitting next to me. Benzo was finished. Zaz was sitting next to me, finished. I just wanted male artist of the year. For me, I got male artist of the year. I wanted male artist of the year. That's what I got, and I was happy.
You're like, listen, I'm happy.
Who got album of the year?
Huh? I think it was
what's
his name?
I know there was people who said, I think everybody thought he would get it and they wanted him to get it. But for me, because male artist of the year, guy, that includes everything.
Yeah, it includes everything. Glenn, I love how you're able to reconcile things. You know, I think for me, it's a science, it's an art, because I just feel like really with what you've gone through in this year, it's really easy to just be in your house under the covers until, you know? And
I have my moments.
Yeah, you have your moment. But listen, I just feel like...
And those moments are really bad moments.
Yeah.
It's not in Toronto.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not always like this.
You know, yeah. But Glemmy, I mean, you know, for me, there's always this feeling like, as much as, you know, you're dealing with your son's loss, how are you able to reconcile the fact that life is going on in the same time? You know, because like from the outside looking in, I think, you know, I always think about like, I lost my mom when I was a teen, and I had the luxury of being able to grieve in private, and there was no weight on my shoulders to carry a legacy. And I just always wonder when I see you, I'm like, wow, you know, Glemmy has all this weight on your shoulders. How are you able to like balance that reality that, listen, I still have to grieve, I still have to carry my son's legacy forward? Is that not a hard balance for you?
It's at the moment, it's a terribly hard balance. At the moment, I think I'm juggling goals, but I'm hopeful because I can see, you know, where I am now from 3 months ago. It's different in terms of balancing. On an emotional basis, to be honest with you, I think I've accepted that I kind of have to walk and move through this. I don't believe it's going to be, people tell me it will get better. I think as a mom, I'm going to grieve for the rest of my life.
Sure.
But I will probably arrive at a better place emotionally. But it's difficult.
Yeah. Glemmy, aka Fridays.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I love it. It's one of the biggest, you know, it's one of the things that bring a smile to my face every Friday.
Yeah.
When I see, because I'm there on Twitter, but I don't do a lot on Twitter, but I go there to see what's happening with AK Fridays.
Yeah.
So I actually want to say thank you.
Yeah.
It's so awesome seeing it happening, and I mean, it's something we're going to carry on forever, right?
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
There's way too many songs.
Too many songs. So for me, I'll tell you, there are two things. Oh, there are more things. You know, there's AK Fridays that carries me from Friday to Friday.
Yeah.
Because Fridays are difficult anyway, just because he died on a Friday. And I'm trying to not think about it that way, but AK Fridays makes my heart sing. It really makes me happy to see all of that happen. And it's the same kind of thing like, you know, when Kenan died, and so many people send me all these WhatsApps and messages and texts and all of that. And I haven't gotten to, I think I'm still on the 12th of February, the 11th of February, around there. But I still every now and again answer people because it makes me feel like healing. You know, when I don't feel good and I go read all those beautiful messages people send me, it really makes me feel great. So let's not stop AK Friday.
100%. Thank you so much, Glemmy, for bringing us here and having this really beautiful conversation. From my heart, I really think you've done an amazing job. I mean, you know, I always look at your post and think, wow, where does Glemmy get all this energy? Because it's really a lot of energy required for you to do what you're doing, as effective as you're doing
but let us also just, you know, not forget, I mean, I do a lot, but Tony has been incredible in terms of, you know, stepping in and doing what needs to be done for his son's legacy as well. And then, you know, there's the family, there's the friends around, there's the legacy. I think it's a well-oiled machine.
100%.
And if I don't have all of that support, I don't know if I'll be so effective and efficient at what I'm doing. So thank you.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy, Glenn. I hate that I've missed this. But, you know, what did you do right with your parenting with AKA that facilitated the kind of relationship we saw with DJs in there post their relationship with Nadia? Because we asked Nadia this question. I want to hear from you, you know, because when you look at your family dynamic, there's a lot of questions around it, because particularly in the black community, we don't get to see that level of co-parenting where everyone is in harmony. It almost looks
That's
very,
deep.
it looks very foreign. What did you do different with that?
I get this question often, and I think it's inside me. So this is how I was raised. So my mom has always been somebody that doesn't distinguish between in-laws and this and that and the other. So when we got married, 4 girls, 2 boys, the moment you have a spouse or somebody or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, those people become part of the family. It's not my children and those other people. That we're all family. And I think just on Zintle and Kenan, I mean, we all know the drama that we've seen and the back together and stuff and whatever. But what it is important is that we as a family always, I have always advocated that you have to put your focus on the youngest members of the family. So in our case it was Caro, now Asante is also there, you know. So I believe that it's not necessarily, I mean, Kenan gave me a hard time at some point. You should stop taking pictures with Zintle and put them on the social
I remember.
And that's in the song.
I remember.
That's in the song.
Zintle's perfect,
Yeah.
your house. And I understand that because at the time you were somebody else, and you obviously also have to take their feelings into consideration.
And,
But for me,
and sometimes they're probably saying, but why is your mom
why is
allowing
your
this
mom-
dynamic to
and
keep
you know what?
existing?
Those are all normal, natural things.
True.
But you see what it is. I need to know who I am, and who I am is somebody that's not going to push away the mother of my grandchild. And Kenan will also not. But it's just that in the moment you need to
there was
do
a
what
lot
you need
going
to
on.
do.
There was-
You need to do what you need to do. So I think for me it's about me being consistent and showing up the way I know I am. And therefore, with somebody like Zintle and Nadia and whatever, also understanding. So if there was ever a girlfriend in my children's life that didn't fit into or didn't understand, it's because I promise you it's not
Beyonce.
me.
Yeah.
It's not me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not me.
Beyonce.
Because don't come here with stories.
Yeah.
But what I'll tell you is because in my heart there's space for everybody.
Yeah. So Glemmy.
For everybody.
Glemmy.
And they have their own special space. Zintle is not better than Nadia or Benang or Nelly or wherever. It's just that Zintle's been there longer, so we've got a different relationship. Nadia just came in now, but her and Zintle get along with like a house on fire.
But there's also a
Why?
kid in the picture, so it's a whole different dynamic. But
It depends on the individual people.
yeah. But Glemmy.
But we have to love.
Yeah. For me, I mean, from a parent point of view, it sounds like you really had a lot of foresight. Because in the broader scheme of things, when you look at the choices that you made over some of these relationships, when you reflect now, you probably sleep very well at night.
Absolutely.
You know?
Because I mean, just imagine if Kenan and Zintle broke up and there's Caro and we don't get along.
You picked a side.
And I am picking sides and I'm making her feel like she's not part of the family.
And
You
this
could have
happens.
taken Caro and changed her name.
Yeah, but now, Glemmy, were you able to have a conversation with AKA post all that happened, and was he able to get where you were coming
No,
from?
we always had those conversations.
Okay,
And
yeah.
it always got me. I think the thing here is that, you know, we are human beings.
True.
And human beings act in certain circumstances. For me, it's never been it's not actually been like thinking about it, it's just the way I am. And for me, there is, you know, Zintle is my daughter, Nadia is my daughter. Nadia, well, one of these days, hopefully, I'm like, when are you going to find yourself a new boyfriend?
Yeah.
You can't be over here, like, I'm just joking. She's always so upset with me. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
But I mean, if she finds somebody else,
Yeah.
I pray to God she finds somebody really special
Yeah.
and somebody that will really love her and take care of her. And hopefully, that person will accept that they will also become part of this family. Because Nadia, you know, she doesn't have to have a child to be part of the family. Kenan loved her so deeply, and we started loving her as a daughter. So she's always going to be my daughter.
True.
Even if she goes off and have 10 children with somebody else.
Yeah, I love what you're doing there, because I feel like there's generally an expectation that in some spaces that, listen, we need to keep this the way it is. There's no sense of progression. So I think it's beautiful for that to come from your mouth, from the horse's mouth, to say, listen, realistically speaking, you're going to have to move on at a point. You're going to have to find love. And I think you accepting that there's life for her post what has happened with AK. I think it's beautiful. Yeah, so I love that
I
group.
mean, when she's ready,
Yeah.
she knows that. When she's ready, you know, I'll probably be one of the first people that she will tell that I found somebody.
Oh man, Clemmy, thank you so much. We really love this. Daryl, please give a shout out to this place once again.
Yeah, we're out at Livy's in Johannesburg. Please search for it. We're about to have lunch. I was hoping we could shoot, you know.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Glemmy loves it.
Beautiful aesthetics.
I'm gonna have lunch here now.
Yeah, you know, awesome. Enjoy, Glemmy. I just want to give a shout out to the brands who dressed me. So I got the Fila, I got the Fubu. The National Basketball Association gave me this cap. So shout out to you guys, and we hope more brands can do what they have to do. Mr. Nyams.
No, we good.
Yeah, we're good. Thank you so much, guys. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Cool.